Yo, what is up guys? My name is AFC Lmao, and today I'll be hitting you guys up with one of my ranked games. I was just playing some ladder, then I played against Raven, played against some other guy that is pretty good, and then I played against Dieseekuh. And Dieseekuh was really consistent lately with his teams, and I got to play him, so let's see how well he does against me. One thing I can tell you guys about this game is that he had a banded Dragonite, and I didn't have a fairy type on my team, so that banded Dragonite was a big threat. But let's see how we play around this, and I hope you guys will enjoy this match. Let's go! Okay, we're playing against Dieseekuh, and he's a pretty offensive team actually, with some safety in Snorlax, Zapdos and Tentacruel. But yeah, I want to lead off with Scissor. I think Scissor will be very important in this game, because I can pretty much use it as a pivot against any one of his members. So let's see, he leads off with Weavile. This is actually really great, because he's forced to switch out, because I'm definitely gonna press U-turn. Because he's forced to switch out, and let's see what he brings in. He goes into his Gyarados, so I do take some damage off on his Gyarados, and now I can U-turn into my Magnezone. And this will make him think that I'm Choice Scarf. Because Gyarados is usually faster, but with Choice Scarf released, people have to think about the Choice Scarf. But little does he know, my Magnezone is not Choice Scarfed, it's Focus Sash. So he switches out thinking that I'm Choice Scarf most likely, and he goes into Snorlax. And that Volt Switch actually does very little. So he has a bit of specially defensive bulk into his Snorlax. I know his special defense is really great, but still, I think it should have done more. Anyway, I'm going into my Gengar, and now I'm gonna press Trick. Because I don't mind if he Earthquakes me and kills me, because then this Snorlax will be useless. And his only other switch would probably be his Tentacruel if he does switch out, and tricking the Choice Scarf onto his Tentacruel is also really nice, because then Tentacruel cannot set up his Toxic Spikes. Because a Choice Scarf, a Tentacruel is also pretty useless if it's a defensive Tentacruel. And if he stays in, it's also great for me. I don't think he's going into any other of his members, because they don't like switching in to an attack of Gengar. And I don't think he should bring in Weavile to counter my Gengar. So he does go into his Tentacruel, and like I said, this is great, because now this Tentacruel is not a threat to me. And remember, he doesn't have Black Sludge, so this Tentacruel has no recovery at all. What I'm gonna do though is I'm going into Hippowdon, because I really want these Stealth Rocks up. Because his only hazard removal now is choice locked. So if he does go for Rapid Spin, he will be locked into Rapid Spin later on. But he actually makes a double switch into his Weavile. And at this point, I think he will press Knockoff. So I could stay in. I know I can live an Icicle Crash too, but I want to keep my Hippowdon around a bit and see what it can do later on. I'd rather go into Scissor, because Scissor can easily take an Icicle Crash, and if he knocks off my item, it's also nice, because look at the damage. He cannot 2-hit KO me with Knockoff because I don't have an item. And if he switches out right now, my Scissor will be at full HP, and then this Weavile can never hurt my Scissor, because Knockoff doesn't do any damage to me anymore, because Scissor doesn't have an item. So he does switch out, and I get my Scissor back at around full HP. And now I'm gonna go for the U-turn. If he Dragon Dances right now, it's actually really great, because he might Dragon Dance thinking that he will be faster than my Magnezone and then kill it with Earthquake. But yeah, I still have my Milotic around, so I don't think he's actually going to go for the Dragonite, as he goes for Waterfall and gets some damage off on my Scizor. I do get a crit, which might help me. And now I'm bringing in my Magnezone again. And then again, this kind of makes him think that I'm Choice Scarf. So he's most likely gonna switch out into his Snorlax again, I think. Because the other members on his team don't like to switch in to an electric attack. So I think his Snorlax is coming in. Okay, he does switch out. Snorlax comes in. And now I'm actually going to go into my Weavile. Because doing this will most likely make him think that I have low kick. Because Icicle Crash won't do a lot to Snorlax because he most likely has Thick Fat. So he has to think that I have low kick on my Weavile, because otherwise I won't bring it in like this. But yeah, I'm gonna press knockoff because I just want to get rid of the Snorlax. I know knockoff is a 2-hit KO from here if he stays in, and a unboosted attack won't knock me out. Okay, he does actually switch it to Zapdos. That's also really nice, because I get rid of Zapdos' item, as that actually does a lot. He's Choice Scarf! What? Well, I guess it doesn't matter because Weavile is faster than Zapdos, so I can press knockoff again and we take out Zapdos. So that is really nice. But the unfortunate part is that Hippowdon was great for setting up Stealth Rocks against Zapdos, especially when he is Choice Scarfed. So I don't really see another opportunity to go for Stealth Rocks. This Dragonite is actually a big threat, because Outrage will claim a kill now, because Scizor cannot take 2 Outrages from that amount of health. So I'm going to go into my Hippowdon, because then I will summon the Sandstorm, which will break Dragonite's multi-skill. And that is definitely Choice Banded Dragonite. I don't think it's worth going into Milotic, because Milotic will definitely live the attack, but then Milotic will be low. Yeah, I really would have loved to get up Stealth Rocks against his team, but I don't think it's possible. My other remaining members are way too important, so my play is to sack the Hippowdon, and if I'm lucky, he might be locked in to Outrage again, going for the 3rd Outrage. At least I hope that he gets locked in to the 3rd Outrage, because then I can knock it out with Weavile, which he might just get confused on the next turn. Then he's able to switch out. But yeah, I think I have to sack Hippowdon. Hippowdon broke the multi-skill, so I can always kill it with Weavile now. He goes for Outrage again, and he became confused, so that means he can switch out. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm going into my Scizor and press Roost, because I need my Scizor at full HP. Because he's Choice Banded, so if he stays in, he has to go for Outrage again, which won't be a good play on his part. But at least I will get my Scizor back at full HP. And this is why a defensive Scizor is really good in this meta. Because it allows me to bring in my Magnezone and my Weavile, which are big threats to his team, in for free. He goes into his Tentacruel, and what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna go into my Milotic. Because that's all I really need my Milotic for, actually. And if he goes for Scald, he might burn me, which means that my Milotic can now tank the Weavile if he burns me. He does go for Scald, and unfortunately he doesn't burn me. I'm just gonna go for Scald. Perhaps I will burn the Snorlax if he brings in Snorlax. Because he's locked into Scald. Remember, Tentacruel is Choice Scarf, so he cannot press any other move. Does go into Snorlax to get some damage off. And that did actually nothing, but now I'm gonna press Toxic. I don't mind Snorlax setting up right here because I do have Haze. So the Snorlax can never sweep me. And I get him poisoned, which is really great. And if he has Sleep Talk and Rest, that means he doesn't have Earthquake, which means he can never touch my Gengar. That would also be really nice. Yeah, I press Haze as he makes a nice switching out. I know I can live this attack, but I'd rather go into Scissor, because Scissor can easily live the knockoff. Remember, I don't have an item. As he crits me, unfortunately. And that crit is actually really bad, because now I'm forced to Roost, which gives him a free switch into a big threat. Because that's no point for me pressing U-turn, because I need my Scissor at full HP. So that if he didn't crit me, I would have been able to go for U-turn right now, and then I would have had a lot of momentum. But yeah, now he brings in Dragonite, and Dragonite can get up a big hit on my team. Because now I would have been able to go for the U-turn if he didn't crit me instead of roosting. But yeah, I'm going into my Milotic because he's bringing in Dragonite like this, so I kind of feel like he has Fire Punch. So Fire Punch is most likely gonna come out. And at this point, he's locked into Fire Punch. So I really want to make a double switch right here. Into my Weavile. But I cannot risk him staying in and going for Fire Punch again, predicting me to switch out. I'm just gonna go for Scald as he does switch into Snorlax. That would have been a big double switch, but it would have also been risky if he stayed in. But yeah, now I can just hard switch into Weavile, because he cannot KO my Weavile without any boosts in his attack. And he goes for Rest. So if he doesn't have Sleep Talk, this will be in 2-hit KO most likely. Yeah, I'm gonna press Knockoff here as he stays in. Get some nice damage off and we get rid of the leftovers. He goes for Sleep Talk as he goes for Return. Okay, I'm just gonna press Knockoff again. And he stays in and Snorlax will go down. So that is really great for me. We got rid of the Snorlax. Because if I couldn't knock him out with Weavile, then it would have been a stall war with my Milotic. He cannot touch my Gengar, but Gengar cannot really hurt the Snorlax either. Because then I had to rely on special defense drops with Focus Blast. And that means that I had to rely on hitting multiple Focus Blasts. But yeah, let's see what he brings in now. He could go into his Dragonite. But I have my Scissor at full HP as he actually goes into his Gyarados. And I want to keep my Scissor at full health this time. So I'm actually going into my Milotic. Because him Dragon Dancing up doesn't really matter to me. Because I still have my Magnezone with Focus Sash. So even if he gets out 6 Dragon Dances, he cannot knock out my Magnezone. Goes for Dragon Dance. And I'm actually gonna press Scald here in case he does go for Taunt. As he goes for Substitute. And him showing Substitute means that his Gyarados won't have Taunt. So I can safely go for Haze here. As he actually makes another switch, predicting me to go for the Haze there. That's why he didn't attack even though he was behind the sub, so that he can get a free switch into his Weavile. But now I'm going into my Scizor, knowing that Scizor can take any attack from this Weavile, as Dieseekuh actually makes a really nice play into his Dragonite. And this, guys, is really scary, because if I stay in on his Fire Punch, my Scizor will die. And if I switch into my Lotic while he goes for Outrage, then my Lotic will most likely die to 2 Outrages. So what I have to do right here. This is why Banded Dragonite is such a big threat if you don't have a Fairy type or don't have Skarmory. Because everything gets 2-hit KO'd by Outrage on switch. I think the play that I'm going to make, guys, is I go into Gengar, because if he goes for Outrage, then Gengar will die, and then I can revenge kill him with Weavile, because he cannot switch out if he goes for Outrage. And if he goes for Fire Punch, that means my Gengar will live the attack. Then I get off a big Sludge Bomb on his team. I think that's the play I have to make. Hippowdon already took Dragonite already took out my Hippowdon, and now he's about to get another kill. So guys, Banded Dragonite is so super strong. That's why I like to use it. So he does go for Outrage and knocks out my Gengar. I had to sack something, but now I can go into Weavile. He cannot switch out, and here I'm going to press Ice Shard. I know pressing Icicle Crash is really good here, because nothing else on this team likes to switch into an Icicle Crash after I kill the Dragonite. But if me going for Ice Shard here ensures that I get the kill, because Icicle Crash can still miss. And let's see what he does now. I think I'm around 35% health. He goes into Weavile. I can definitely see a Pursuit coming here, but still I'm going into my Scizor, as he does go for Pursuit, and he actually gets a crit. I don't know if that crit mattered, but I feel it should have been a roll at least. I know this Weavile is Choice Banded, because we don't see Life Orb, so he's most likely Choice Banded. But yeah, now I'll go into my Scizor. It's still fine. It would have been nice to have Weavile around for the Gyarados perhaps. But yeah, I'm going into Scizor, go for U-turn as he goes into his Gyarados. And now I can go into Magnezone. And I'm just gonna press Volt Switch here. If he switches out, it doesn't matter. Tentacruel doesn't like to switch into Volt Switch anyway. If he goes Weavile, I can go Scizor. He goes for Waterfall. He doesn't flinch me. I get off the Volt Switch. And now I'm going into my Scizor, because Scizor forces his Tentacruel to come in. And now I can switch into my Milotic. And it doesn't matter if he double switches into his Weavile, because I can just let my Milotic die, bring in Scizor, and U-turn on his Weavile. Goes for Scald, and now I'm just gonna spam Scald. Remember, Tentacruel is locked into Scald, so he has to keep scalding, so I'm gonna drop the GG. Because it doesn't matter if he takes out my Milotic. Because if Tentacruel somehow takes out my Milotic, I can bring in my Magnezone. And if his Weavile takes out my Milotic, I can bring in Scizor. And the combination U-turn and Volt Switch will win me the game here. So I'm just gonna keep scalding. And if he brings in Weavile on the Scald, that could also be really nice. But yeah, there's no way he's gonna win right now. he burns me, and this even ensures my victory more because now his Weavile cannot knock out my Milotic because of the Marvel skill boost. I really admire how you stay in with Mag on a potential EQ from... I was Sash, guys. I was focused Sash on my Magnezone. But yeah, guys, that was the game. I hoped you enjoyed that battle. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. And I see you guys in the next video. Peace out.